Hey, it's Randy from UC Status. Welcome to another episode of Ditch the Box. Today I'm bringing you another phone from Yealink. It's a new Microsoft Teams phone. It's the MP58. Those that have seen my show or indeed other shows, that know Teams phones and know Yealink, will know that this is very similar, in fact, to the T58. And then actually the T55 before that. So the form factor hasn't changed a huge amount. Obviously it's more like the T58 because it has the actual kind of swivel screen, if you like, that moves back and forth on a hinge to be able to set it to the uprightness that you prefer. In terms of physical characteristics, there's not a lot different, but you will notice here that it actually has a Teams button. Those eagle-eyed people that know and have the T58 will note that some of the buttons have actually swapped around. So this redial key here was actually here. So what they've done is move the redial key over there and move this to the Teams button. The button that was over here was the voicemail button. And you know that you won't need a voicemail button because there's actually a dedicated key on the screen in the Teams phone user interface. In terms of what else has changed on the T58, I believe the screen resolution has changed a little bit to try and take advantage of some different things, and they've also upped the processor to make it faster and speedier to go through the Teams desktop UI. I'm not going to show you the user interface itself because you saw that in my last video. What you'll also note, anybody else, you'll note there's no curly cord here. That's because the T58 now comes with an optional Bluetooth handset. So it's a completely Bluetooth free handset. You can see it's got the charging points here, and then on the actual phone cradle itself there. And then in terms of buttons, it's also got an answer button, an answer end button, should I say, and also a mute button. So when you're on a call and you're roaming around, you don't have to run back to your phone just to hang up. So if I just replace the cradle. One thing to note about the Teams button though, is it doesn't really do a lot. So anybody else that has the speaker phones, like the pucks from any vendor, including Yealink, the Teams button actually serves as a multi-function button. So, if there's a meeting that's upcoming or if there's a voicemail or something, you press the Teams button, it'll launch directly into that. But what this does for right now is it just goes home. So if you're in any screen, so if I'm in voicemail, for instance, if I press the Teams button, it goes straight out and back home. Continuing the theme of the wireless handset option, if I swing this round, you can also see that you've got some USB ports. So one on the back, and then one on the top, which is actually a throwback from the SIP phone itself, which actually has a camera that goes up there for video calls. Video calls aren't supported in the Teams UI on this interface. If you do want a video phone, there's better phones for it. The VP59, for instance, from Yealink, but also then the Lenovo Think Smart View, which is now the Teams display. Yealink have a Teams display coming out at some point as well. It's just about to go through certification in the next coming months. But for right now, there's only a couple of options for video. Now, if I come down here, you can see you've got the familiar ports that you would have on any phone. So you've got the port here for a normal RJ22 headset, but you've also got a port there which has got the handset kind of icon next to it. That is actually for a curly cord. So if you don't want to use the Bluetooth headset, you can still have an option to use the wired handset. Some environments don't actually support Bluetooth well because of radio interference, or maybe there's too much congestion for Bluetooth devices. So in those environments, you might actually need a physical kind of curly cord, if you like. Again, if I swing it around, there's not much else to say about it. It's a great phone, nice and responsive. The user interface, as you've seen in my last video, has come on leaps and bounds. The product team at Microsoft has done wonders with the Teams user interface. I think it looks very smart, it's very responsive, and it works really well. All right, that's it. That's all I've got to say today. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode.